Uh, I want to start our live as soon, but we'll wait for a bit more. If you've noticed, last night I said we'd have two lives the rest of this week. So today, today and then tomorrow we have one at 12. I didn't have a live earlier today because I had some people that I needed to talk to in our inbox, and like I said, if uh, if there is a time where time permits and you have questions that I can answer, I will call. I will find you on Messenger, and we can have a conversation there. And so that's why I apologize. We didn't have a live earlier, but tonight we will still have two lives. So I'm going on now to discuss the division between Samoans and Tongans, and then later on in about at about 11 Hawaii time, I'm going to go on live. I'm going to go live again. So talo fatu I le mamalu o Samoa wa poto mai le ne fiafi wa avea le ne avanoa e tau te mai e tau te mai mo mai ai I se taumwhainga vai vai le atali e mole atu whaftai ma I le tau sapspaya ma toi mole atu le nganga o whatalofa ia te o tau uma ua mawhai o na tātou whatasi le ne fiafi. I want to first start off with a poem. You know, this poem is entitled In His Likeness. Amatalia tatou afiafine ile I tatou solo. Ole ne solo si solo foi na utusia. I am also the author of this poem. So here we go. You call me a sinner as if you've committed none. Jesus saved Mary Magdalene. His death, forgiveness for everyone. You call me nasty names. You attempt to bring me down. Haven't you noticed how well I stand my ground? You stare me down and glare as if looking through me. You're starting to make me laugh because your glare is quite funny. You seem real angry about things that I have accomplished. It's not my fault. You're lazy and beat around the bushes. You're lighter than me and you called me darkness. But is it my fault God made me in His likeness? And that's our poem. Later on, after I'm going to read it again at the end of this discussion. But time and time again, wa masani lava. The differences or disputes between Samoans and Tongans. The division between Samoans and Tongans. And then I see the Tokoso movement. But there is still division. I try to figure out why. Because you see, I am of Samoan and Tongan descent. My grandfather is a Mataele. My grandmother is Talamoa. My mother is of Samoan and Tongan descent. Many a Samoan is of Samoan and Tongan descent. So why the disparity? Why the negativity? Why the hate? Time and time again, Samoans have brought up how they've kicked the Tongans out of Samoa and beat them. Nice. But then the Tongans can also tell the story of how they conquered Samoa. And so, it boggles my mind that these two similar cultures and people have found their differences to be reason to rise up against each other. But our differences aren't many. Ua avele ese o tātou ngangana, mo tātou tūmanga, mamafuanga. ua iai le feʻeseʻesiʻiga po le feteʻenaʻiga lea I le va o Samoa ma Tonga. Iai Samoa fai mai. Manatua le mea lea sa tule I Samoa ia Tonga mai Samoa. Ai mawhai foi lana whapela au Tonga. O tau manatua le teimi lea sa tātou pule ai I Samoa. Ho tau manatua le teimi lea sa avea whaatangata o tau ai Samoa I o la tau lava ele ele. Do you remember how Samoans were captive in their own homes? You see how the narrative can change how a story is told. Yes, you beat them. Yes, the Samoans beat the Tongans. And they fled. The question to you is then, after the Tongans fled, why didn't we chase after them? The answer is, we did not chase after them because we wanted them out of our islands, because they overstepped. Remember, the Samoan culture is that of love and respect, mutual respect, and so when the Tongans enslaved the Samoans, after the Samoans welcomed them, they disrespected the culture. And therefore Samoans rose up. There was no respect. That's why Samoans wanted them out of there. Because they disrespected them. Sosopo. They have overstepped. Now, a lot of the times, the reason I bring that up is because some people have said the tone that I use, some words that I use, was sosopo towards the older people. It is not my intent. E leo o te le o tau mawhai ina ia atangia le amio lepu lea ngai le mea nana o ina ia. That's not what I was taught. I wasn't taught to be disrespectful. But I see in your comments the disrespect. And it is my firm belief na o wina wiloptina. Ia e ava I sostangata. Respect all, because all are deserving of respect. Until se ia vanga na wa ia so na soli. Until they have crossed the line. So you will receive my utmost respect, Samoa. O le a o tau maua o lo wawa ia I tangata Samoa, e atangia fo ia I te leo mea o te whaia. But when you start to disrespect me, you need to remember, you disrespect my family. You disrespect my wife and my culture. Because as much as you say Samoan is your culture, ele o atangia mai I lo ngana malawa miona fai o oyo se Samoa. Leango le tu maleanga Samoa whaaloalo. But when you swear, ele o se whaaloalo le na mea o le popoi, po le ma fau fau. And if you are le ma fau fau, that means you have a brain but aren't using it. So the division between Samoa and Tonga is one that was created by, again, the colonizer. Because a lot of Samoans' myth and legends, which we'll cover next week when we start to do our alanga upu, mamuangangana, or sayings and proverbs. A lot of the stories go back and forth between Samoa and Tonga, Samoa and Tonga, Samoa and Tonga. Time and time again, you'll hear of Tui Tonga coming to Samoa. And do you all remember who the first peaceful ruler of Samoa was? If you don't, her name was Salamasina. Salamasina. Okay, let me start. Samoans knew that someday they would need a ruler. And so they went and brought Salamasina, whose father was a great Samoan, from her mother's family that she lived with, I Tonga, in Tonga. So, the first peaceful ruler of Samoa was half Tongan, and her descendants are of Tongan descent. So many of you out there, maybe you don't know it, but you've got some Tongan in you. But because that was many, many generations ago, you haven't been taught it. And therefore are stuck thinking you are a full Samoan, or you are a third or a fifth from Manua, a fifth from Tutuila, a fifth Apolima, a fifth Manono, a fifth Savai, and a whole of Upolu. And then you're not human. But tonight, I was touched because I was reminded of the story of the Good Samaritan by a friend. You see, the Good Samaritan, the story of the Good Samaritan, the lesson isn't behind the deeds the Samaritan did. Now this is for my Christian brothers and sisters out there, because I see that you keep on bringing it up. So I'm going to share this with you. The story o le tala I le Samaria angalele. O le whiauta ua e te le mo mai lea I yana ngā luenga sa whai. O le whiauta ua, the main story or the object lesson is that he was kind to someone who likened him to a dog. Culturally, the Jewish looked down on the Samaritans. They were unclean. They were animals, and they were filthy animals. They were Gentiles, tangata onuu ese, different people. But when the Samaritan saw the Jew, he did not care that the Jewish called them dogs or filthy dogs. He did what was right. Our culture teaches us to do what is right. Culturally, we are linked to our Tongan brothers and sisters. Let's remember that. Let's remember that the next time we see a Tongan on the road, trimming trees, or a Samoan on the road, sweeping trash, let's remember our culture is to love. And when you don't portray that love, I must honestly say, e le'o oio se Samoa. Many have used that to say to me, because of how I'm displaying our culture, of some of the ugliness in our people. People have said I'm not Samoan, but that doesn't bother me, because Samoan teaches, the Samoan culture teaches, no oe moleanganu. Ele o oe se Samoa. Many of you who understand the culture and language and don't wish to share, mai mau oe. A fai olo e oe ngana maleanganu ai leo fa soa. Mai mau oe. Then sometimes I hear the term thrown at me and other people in the comment section. Fiapoto. Fiapoto is not a bad thing. I am very fiapoto. Very fiapoto. I want to gain knowledge. O te fiapoto. A oela le nofo malito mai. Leo fa pea e oe o oe le na uapoto. Ye lis tangata e sau fesili pe fesili tofo. That is fa'a fiapoto. To act like you want to learn, yet you are coming to critique and to criticize someone else. You are not seeking knowledge, you are acting as if you are seeking knowledge. And so to you I say, talu fai ia te oi. Because God is giving you the knowledge and the wisdom. But you're holding it to yourself. So, again, my message, like I said, this is culture and religion are two different things, because there are numerous people who put them together. Now I'm going to say to the Christians, a fai o nai te nofo ma oe ia le mea lofa. Maulo e whaapolopolo i te musu e tufa. Man tua tala i le matai mana au nai tolu. Ma tā leni na ia tuu iai. Okay? Man tua. Toe whapopo i le au na mumua, toe whapopo au na lua, au na sa nofo mpapolopolo i lana tā leni. Ea. I nā lua tu ia oi melo, iai le au whaitangi au e ma le lili vau o nifo. To my brothers and sisters of the Christian faith who hone this knowledge and don't want to share it, I remind you of the parable of the master and the 3 servants, whom he gave talents to. The first one doubled, the second one doubled. The last one hid it and kept it to himself. Oh, you go outside to where there is wailing and the gnashing of teeth. So share. Whaasoa. Ina nei lili vau o nifo. Okay? Again, stay blessed. God bless. I'll see you folks again in a few hours. Soifua ma ia manuia.